If you guys are looking to buy or sell any of your FIFA 23 Ultimate Team coins in preparation for Team of the Season, check out u4gm.com and use code ELITE at checkout. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sean, aka Elite, and today I'm going to show you guys the Friday trading method, which is a trading method that has been discovered by quite a few different traders within the community. However, today I'm going to put it all in one video to show you guys exactly how to time things correctly so you don't end up losing any coins and you can make yourself 10 to 20, sometimes up to 40% on your coins in a single day and actually just a few hours every single Friday. It's a very effective trading method. The higher the budget, the better, but you can go into this with 100,000 coins and make yourself some profit. So with that being said, if you're excited to learn about the Friday trading method today, don't forget to drop a like on the video. That's all I ask in return. Now, of course, a new promo drops every single Friday into FIFA 23 Ultimate Team, and in 10 hours, by the time you watch this, probably less than 9 hours, are going to be left until La Liga Team of the Season drops into packs. But first, let me show you exactly how we traded with the Bundesliga Team of the Season and pretty much every promo leading up to this, whether it was Winter Wild Cards in December, whether it was Team of the Year in January, whether it was FUT Future Stars in February, FUT Fantasy in March. It didn't matter which Friday, which month, it has worked every single time. But there is some risk if you do not do it right because you might not time it correctly. So as you guys can see, I tweeted out last week to people who have been following my YouTube channel for a while. If you've been a subscriber and you've been watching my videos, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about up to this point with the Friday trading method. And I tweeted out, and if you didn't know what it was about, the Friday trading method, you might be a little confused, but I said they might not be at their lowest point yet, but they're close. Keep an eye over the next 45 minutes. That was in regards to a very high budget card, Jude Bellingham, at 7.5 million coins. Then it was also to a medium budget card, Kimmich, 500,000 and 515,000 coins, and then Leroy Sané, 103,000 coins, a more low budget card. So this hits all budgets. If you've got 10 million coins, if you've got 5 mil, 1 mil, or less than a million coins, you guys can use this trading method. But let's go ahead and show you exactly what Jude Bellingham did immediately after I tweeted that out. If you take a look at his 14-day hourly graph, you can see that in the first hour, he was cheap. People had saved their packs for Bundesliga. They had opened them and added a lot of supply. But over the first hour or two, they rose very quickly. Now, it's very risky to buy on that first hour, and I never do, because I think that it's a 50-50 shot that they skyrocket, and another 50%, the other 50% is that they go down really hard. So it's a very big risk to buy in that first hour. And this week, they just happened to go up. But this dip right here, and it comes about 6 to 8 hours after the release of a new promo. Now, sometimes it can vary by an hour or two, so give or take, but as you get about 6 to 8 hours into the promo every single Friday, they hit a low point. As you can see, this drop right here happens every single week, and this rise right here happens every single week. Now, I tweeted out right about there when he was 7.5 million coins that it was probably about time to buy. He got down to 7.3 million before he started rising up, and he rose quick, and he rose very high. And he got all the way up to 9 million coins. At one point, he was actually extinct at that 9 million coins, which means that if you had bought that card at 7.5 or 7.3, at 7.5 million, you would have made 1.1 million coin profit. And if you had bought at the best time at 7.3, you would have made about 1.3 million coin profit. And that's after tax. So it's a very effective trading method, but you might be like, well, I don't have 7 million coins. Well, let's take a look at one of the other cards that I showed you there on that tweet, which was Joshua Kimmich. I tweeted him out at 515,000 coins. Now, I think he got as low as about 495 at his lowest point, but as you guys can see, he did the exact same thing as Jude Bellingham. In that first hour he came out, there was supply. He rose into the second and third hour at almost 1 million coins, but then that drop, which happens every week, came right down to 517K on average for the hour. Now, I want you guys to remember that with the graph you're looking at here on futbin.com, you are seeing the average low price for that hour, which means that it could have spent the first 30 minutes at 530K and the next 30 minutes at 502K, which means that the average price for that hour was about 517K. He could have been slightly lower during that hour, and at the same time, during its peak overnight, he could have been over 600K, which is exactly what happened. But if you were to buy at that time at 515,000 coins and then sell at any point during that night at about 600K, after tax, which is about 30,000 coins, you're still ending up making about 50 to 60, maybe 70,000 coins on each card that you buy. So it's a very, very easy, a very quick and effective trading method. It's not an investment per se for days. It's an investment for literally just a couple of hours. In fact, if you time it just right on a card that is super rare, you can end up like me, who I bought a Maldini card on bid for 3.85 million coins on bid, and I listed that card up immediately after for almost 4.5 million coins, and it sold in about a minute, which means that in 5 minutes from the time that I got that card on bid to the time that he had risen in price, because he was so rare and there weren't very many on the market because it's day number 1 of them being in packs, I made myself 408,000 coin profit. It took 5 minutes. Now, of course, that's an outlier. It doesn't happen every week like that. But what I will say is that there hasn't been a Friday I have lost coins. And with that being said, let's go into a lower budget card just to bring this home. Diaby's more medium budget, but it does kind of fit the same trend. As you guys can see, first couple hours here, he was obviously super expensive. We don't want to buy in that first hour. And I'm really glad that you guys actually see this, because in the first hour with Diaby, he did not rise like Jude Bellingham or Kimmich. He dropped in price. So just as well as some cards could rise, others could drop hard. That's why I don't buy in the first hour. It's too risky. But right here is where it's about 6 to 8 hours after release, he got down to 715K, and overnight he rose all the way up to 816,000 coins, about 100K up after tax, 40K. You're making 60K profit per card. Do we want to hold into Saturday at content release? Absolutely not. Look what happens on Saturday after 6 p.m. UK. You don't want to hold that long. In fact, I always sell my cards before the morning. I normally sell right as Europe is waking up, because sometimes those cards will peak right before Europe wakes up, and I'll only have to hold those cards for about 2 to 4 hours. So a very, very quick hold. I go ahead and sell those cards. In fact, when we take a look at the Maldini, I actually could have made more coins if I was a little bit more patient. I bought that card later into the night. It was about 6 to 7 hours after the release of the card. And then I just listed it right up right after, because he had already started going up, obviously. But if I had waited a little longer into the night, I probably could have made myself another 500K on the card. I'm not even kidding. I didn't time the sale right, but I definitely timed the buy correctly. So with that being said, we've got a lot of different La Liga cards to take a look at, and I'm going to show you exactly which cards are going to be on my radar. Now, it obviously depends on their price come 6 to 8 hours after release, and you can kind of tell when certain cards are rising just by looking at the entire squad's prices. If you keep an eye on them, and then all of a sudden you see Diaby's price just skyrocket up another 50, 60, 70K out of nowhere, and you're looking at Kimmich, and you're looking at Frimpong, and you're looking at De Ligt, and you're like, those haven't rose in price yet. Well, I'll tell you what, it's coming very soon after. So if you see one card start rising a ton, it's very common that that is the first card to go up, and everything else is going to follow right after. So if you want to go ahead and get it in your investments, you can wait until the first card starts rising, and then buy the cards that haven't start to rise yet. So that's the way I do it, and that's why I tweet out things like, it's about time to buy. Keep an eye on these cards because they might start rising soon. And I try to tweet it out every single Friday. Now, with that being said, there are certain cards that are in this team of the season. And of course, we don't know the exact stats on these cards yet, so it could change. But Marcos Llorente, if he gets a boost above the rating of 92, he could be a good card. However, if they make him only 90 to 91 rated, then he might not be a great card. The higher the rating, the better. Because if they get a really high rating, they get tougher to pack. And after the first couple of hours, after everybody opens their packs, there's not a ton of people packing that card overnight, which means means that it's super rare. Only the only cards listed are the ones that got listed a few hours before, and everybody who owns that card might be asleep. So they get super rare and they go up in price a ton. You might be able to, steal some coins from somebody who buys at a terrible time and then wants to sell the next day. Oh, do not be that guy. The next one is Vinicius Jr. Of course, he's going to get a super big boost, and he's going to be a high-budget card, very similar to that Jude Bellingham investment. Now, Benzema was actually a card that I did this method with during Team of the Year. So if there's any similarities, then it might be the way to go. The only thing about that is there's a ton of 96 rated Team of the Year Benzemas in the game already. And with that being said, there's another option. There's another card that's being listed that competes for the best Benzema card in the game. And with that being said, it's not a card that I am probably going to be flipping today. Now, Lewandowski at 97 rated is going to probably follow a similar trend to De Ligt last week. It's not going to be the most expensive card in the game. It's not going to be nearly as much as Vinicius Jr. However, it's so high rated that there only might be less than a page listed at any given time during the night, which means that if there's a bunch of people who listed for 12 hours or 6 hours, there might not be a ton of cards that are listed for a reasonable price. And if you just undercut the next lowest one, you might get some dummy who's not patient enough to wait until everybody wakes up and start listing their cards. So with cards that are that high rated, it is definitely a good move, especially if they're under 1 million coins and they're 95 rated or above. Those are great cards to look at. Now, I do stay away from goalkeepers. I will say that right now. So Ter Stegen, even if they give him a 96 or 97 rated, is not going to be a card I flip. I don't trade with goalkeepers. They're not consistent enough to make coins. Griezmann is, of course, going to be a good card to do this with. Of course, his Path to Glory card was one of the most hyped up cards during this year. So with that being said, I think a lot of people are excited for his team of the season. As we scroll down, Valverde, a midfielder with pace, and he's got well-rounded stats. I think he's going to be a great card to do this with today. Now, as we look at some of the lower budget cards like Molina, here's what I will say. These cards will follow the same trend. They'll get to a low point about 6 to 8 hours after release. There will be a time where you pull the trigger and you can make yourself some profit. However, the sky is not the limit for cards that are less than 93 rated, in my opinion. If you've got a 90 rated or a 91 rated card like Molina, they're going to be packed quite a bit more. They're going to be easier to pack, which means there's more supply, which means that it's going to be easier to find somebody who's going to undercut you if you were to list your card. If I list a 97 rated Lewandowski on day number 1, despite the fact that the demand might not be there like Vinicius Jr.'s card, what I will say is that the supply won't be either. For Molina, the card is going to be listed a lot more, which means that it's going to have a very natural rise into the night. You are going to make coins, but just like that Leroy Sané card from last week, and we took a look at him, and I think, I don't think we actually looked at his graph, so I'll bring that up. Leroy Sané we saw for 103,000 coins. And if we take a look at that 103K and compare it to what it rose to, as you guys can see, we tweeted it out. 108K is what it picked up on Flipin. It was 103 on our screen. He rose up to about 121,000 coins at its peak, and you could sell for nearly 120K for the entirety of the night, which means that if you picked up closer to 103, 105,000 coins, and you listed for 120, you still made 15,000 coin profit. But you're not looking at the kind of margins that you would be with the higher rated cards. So for this, what I will say is the rich get richer. If you have a lot of coins in a high budget, go ahead and use those coins on buying some really, really high rated cards. And even if they might not fill your entire budget, I would go with, instead of buying, 20 of a 90 rated card, I would buy 2 of a 96 or 97 rated card, if that is what your budget can afford. And of course, I tweet out these on my Twitter every single week as well. So if you want to learn more about this trading method or try to practice it or try to time it right, you can tweet at me on Twitter and I'll tell you if I think it is a good time to buy that card. I'm going to open up a couple packs to finish off today's video as an appreciation for you guys making it to the end of the video. And if you did make it to the end of today's video, go ahead and comment down below whatever we pack in this next pack that I open. All right, we've got ourselves an 83 plus double player pack. Whoever pops up here, comment it down below. Unfortunately, it's not blue. And it's going to be, who is it? Ndidi. and Bremer. So Ndidi is what you comment down below. I probably should have let it pop up there, but Ndidi is who we get in the first pack. Go ahead and comment that down below. Proof that you made it to the end of the video, but I'm still going to open up another pack because we can't end on an Ndidi. Surely we can get something good. All right, we're going to open this 83 plus double player pack, but if it doesn't give us anything, we're opening the 84 plus times 5. Give me at least an 86. Come on. Ooh. Oh! We just packed Lionel Messi! Well, unfortunately, it's not Liga Cards, but what a pull, and I think that is a great way to end the video. We pack Lionel Messi. Now, it's definitely not as exciting as it was in FIFA 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, but it's still pretty good feeling to pack Lionel Messi, even if he does only go for like 32,000 coins at this point in the game. That's some fodder to add into the club, and I will leave you guys with that. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.